It's time to look ahead to the Eliminator between Hyderabad and Bangalore on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. Joining me shortly, Gautam Gambhir and Tom Moody. Right, gentlemen, let's get into our 5 preview statements for this one. Gautam, first up, we're saying that Virat Kohli should look to open to maximize his impact. Thoughts?
It's not only about Virat Kohli. I think it's about other players as well. So I think Devdutt Padikkal has done a fabulous job for RCB. And if they're playing another overseas, he has to open. Virat Kohli has to bat at number 3, not only because Virat Kohli is the captain and you have to maximize him. He needs to open. Personally, I think they should go back to Aaron Finch.
All right, that's interesting. So Finch is one option. Tom, would you be tempted to change things up ahead of an eliminator, send Kohli, who's lacked a little bit of rhythm, to open?
Yeah, look, you look at the numbers. Kohli clearly prefers to open the batting in T20 cricket. His record's quite phenomenal compared to where it is at 3, 4 and 5. But ultimately, I agree with Gautam. It's about the team. What does a team require? And at the end of the day, whether they pick Finch instead of Josh Philippe, or whether they pick Moeen Ali as an option, they've got to try to find the best balance to win the game. It's not around just the one player. Kohli, I think, has got that big game temperament. Whether he bats 1 or 3, I think will make very little difference.
All right, let's continue this point with our second point and see if we can finally figure the overseas combination for Bangalore in this big game. We're saying that they should retain Shahbaz Ahmed, the left-arm spinner, Tom, and bring back Navdeep Saini if he's fit, for Isuru Udana, in which case you can play around with those overseas options. How would you go?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Again, without seeing the surface they're playing on, I'd be tempted to stick with Udana, purely the fact that he provides you with an option for a left arm over that creates different angles, different challenges, and they have stuck with him to this point. To suddenly make the change on him leading into this big game, I think, to me, is a sign of panic more than anything else. I think you've got to back the people that you've trusted to get to this point, and hope that they do the job, on the big stage.
So in which case, before I go to Gautam, you'd bring Saini back in for Shahbaz Ahmed then, right, Tom?
I would do, purely on the basis that we know Jude's going to be a factor. And I just would hate to think that a specialist bowler is nearly going to be redundant if we bowl second.
Gautam, your thoughts? Saini comes in?
100%. And if Saini comes in and if there's something for the spinners, probably I'll bring in Moeen Ali for Isuru Udana.
Yeah.
And because obviously Sunrisers got a left-arm spinner in their ranks, they've got Rashid Khan in their ranks. So probably if someone, I can actually use Moeen Ali as a floater, probably somewhere between Virat, AB, or probably after AB as well, or even open the batting with him.
All right, let's go to our next statement. We're saying, Gautam, that Bangalore must see out Sandeep Sharma in the power play, who's on a bit of a red-hot streak when it comes to the new ball, including getting the wicket of Virat Kohli pretty often.
See, again, the most important thing in T20 cricket is you don't have to be the most skillful or probably the bowler who can bowl 150. You got to not have any ego. That is something which is very important because a lot of these fast bowlers have this ego. They're not to bring the wicketkeeper up. And if you see Sandeep Sharma, he has straight away, he's got a long on back, he's got a deep square leg back. He brings the wicketkeeper up. He's just smart. He plays bowls within his limitations. And that's why I think this format suits him, because it's the batters who have to go after him rather than him going after the batters. And that is why I feel that it's not important to be the most talented guy, to be the most successful cricketer in T20 format. You just got to be smart and with no ego.
It looks like batsmen do take it on their ego to hit Sandeep Sharma, Tom. Is there a different approach that's required in an eliminator?
Yeah, look, I think over the years, and this year's no exception, a lot of batsmen haven't paid the due respect that Sandeep Sharma deserves. He's a highly skilled bowler. Yes, he doesn't stand out because he doesn't bowl 150 or 140 kilometres an hour and he's not 6'5". Sandeep, he just flies under the radar, but he is very clever. He swings the new ball. He's got subtle changes of pace, and he understands the game and he reads the game very well. So I think that what's required is really just a little bit of respect and playing him on merit and not trying to take him on and play into his game.
Let's go to our next statement. Tom, we're saying Hyderabad should bring back Abhishek Sharma for Priyam Garg.
Yeah, I like that change purely on the basis I think Abhishek Sharma will bring more to the side than where Garg is potentially going to bat. Priyam Garg's going to probably come in at number 6 or 7. And to me, he's a little bit lost down in that position. If you're picking him and he was batting at 3 and 4, different story. It's a different conversation. But he's really being selected or this option is the selection for number 6 or number 7. And I think Abhishek Sharma is a better fit for that.
You'd go with that, Gautam, Chahal, and only one left-hander in David Warner in the top 6. Would you bring back Abhishek?
100%. And plus, he gives you that sixth bowling option as well. Because when you're playing against people like AB and RCB or Virat Kohli, and you're going only with 5 bowlers, that's going to be walking on the knife edge. So probably Abhishek Sharma can actually chip in with a couple of overs, and I have to agree with Tom. And he can bat at number 6 or 7, a left-hander against Chahal, and he hits a really good ball as well. He's an unbelievable fielder. So from an overall package point of view, Abhishek Sharma.
Lovely. Let's go to our final point. And we're saying the team should look to chase with the due factor in mind. The last 5 games, Gautam, at Abu Dhabi have been won quite easily by the teams chasing.
Again, due is something which is not in your hand. Ultimately, you've got to play good cricket. If you see, even in the last game, wicket was fabulous. So even if you have to bat first, you've got to try and put 170 on the board and probably take the due out of the equation as well, because toss is something which is not going to be in your hand. And you can't just say that, oh, you lose the toss, you lose the game as well, because that is not how champion teams are actually made of. Yes, obviously, you would prefer to chase, but then even if you have to bat first, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially in an important or a playoff game.
Will it be as easy as win the toss and chase, Tom? We have seen at times in big games, teams, including Hyderabad, don't mind having a bat.
Well, I'll be absolutely shocked if Sunrisers do that and choose to do the opposite to what statistically tells you is a no-brainer. I think both teams, if they win the toss, without a doubt, will be chasing. Clearly the dew does play a significant role, but I agree with Gautam in that a big match, the less attention you have on the fact that you are, relying on a toss, you just got to take that out of your hand and just bring your best game on the night. And if you are in the situation when you're fielding second, you just have a clear strategy to how you're going to approach it. You have coping mechanisms in place and you deal with it.
Moody, Gautam Gambhir, thank you very much. That wraps up our preview to the Eliminator between Hyderabad and Bangalore on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.